Hey guys, hope you're all well. Hello, hello. I do appreciate this is probably a really bad time for most people, unless you're like down under. And I think it's a good time for people in Australia, New Zealand. And I do have some people who do come from those places who come into my live streams very often. So apart from you guys, probably not a very good time, but most people, if they want to, can catch this on the replay. There we go. Hi from Australia. Hello, hello. Yeah, so it's 6:37 a.m. here in the UK, and I was awake. And what I thought I'd do is look into Edna Quintana, because not many people are talking about her. You know, people are saying, oh, Suzanne Morphew was found during a search for someone else. Even some news channels are saying something else. They're not even honouring Edna with being human. I think that will change. I think more people will actually start naming Edna. But what I thought I'd do in this live stream is talk a little bit about the search for Suzanne, but mainly focus on Edna. Who is Edna? Why is she out there? And just give a thought to her family. Because actually, 2 people have been found during the search for Edna. One of them is Suzanne Morphew. Another one is a man. So searches have been out there since May looking for Edna. And Edna's still out there. So let's talk a little bit about Edna. But first, let's just say hello to whoever's in. Abia, Juju Bean, Karen, Kat, Lindsay, Comptut, Lisa, Upagal, Sarah, Mother McReady, Michelle, great name, Rosiad from Australia, Angie Baby, Kay, Casey, go find me. What else have we got? Carrie. It is what it is. It certainly is what it is. Yeah. 1:37 in Ohio. Fids, 1:37 a.m. in Indiana. Color, T.O. GG, 12:37 in Texas. Raggedy Hobo's still awake at 1:37. Pie in the Sky, Gail. Okay, so we've got a bunch of people coming in now. Angie Baby, you've been up since 2 a.m. Oh, I was asleep then. I would have been asleep now, but the dogs get me up proper early. They get me up as soon as it starts coming light. So I do, it's the only reason I like winter, because I hate winter. I really don't like winter. I don't like the dark hours. It makes me feel like, oh, can't be bothered. You know, it's going dark at like 4:30, and I just don't like it. And it's cold, and I just don't like it. It's rainy, it's muddy, and yeah. So there's one benefit of winter, and that is the dogs sleep a little longer because it gets light a little bit later. But anyway, okay, so let's talk about Edna. So on the right of your screen there, that is Edna. She's 55, and she's been missing since the beginning of May of this year. She is out there somewhere, and she obviously needs to be found, and her family need to have the answers that so many people, you know, it takes ages, years in some cases, to find someone who is out there, and the families almost like resign themselves to the fact that this person isn't coming back, and this person is most likely deceased. I mean, in some really good cases, really heart-lifting cases, you know, someone has gone off in sometimes the dissociative fugue, and they get found. A friend of mine, that exact thing happened to, and he was found. I helped in the search there and found him. And sometimes people just go off and don't want to be found, and that's their prerogative. If they're an adult, it's their prerogative. But in so many cases that we talk about in true crime, there is no crime. They've wandered away and had an accident or sadly taken their own life. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's an accident, whether it's a taking their own life event, or I guess especially if it's a crime, that person needs to be found. The person in a crime situation, the person who did this, the perpetrator needs to be brought to justice. But above and beyond all of that, there's someone out there and their family needs them back. Okay, so I'm going to play this little news article. Who's this from? 13 ABC. So they'll copyright claim this video because they always do, but I don't mind. Was she found near her home? Suzanne. Once I've gone through, I'm going to go through this news piece, and then there's some writing, and then we'll get the map up and show you where they were actually searching for Edna, and that then gives the location as to where Suzanne was. What was Edna seen doing the last time she was seen? I'm not sure, actually. But we might find out. We might find out, because I've listened to this news piece, but I listened to it last night and saved the page, but I haven't actually read all the text, and I haven't. There's some more things coming out now about Edna. Her family have spoken. So let's listen to this. It's only 2 minutes long. You loved my last video. Yeah, I was very snarky, wasn't I? Very snarky. I just felt that way out yesterday. Maybe it's because it was my birthday. It was finally my birthday. I mentioned it in a video a few days ago saying, oh, it's nearly my birthday, and it was just a throwaway comment. And then every day since, people have been saying, happy birthday, and I've been saying, nearly. But yesterday it was my birthday. So maybe I just felt in a good mood because it was my birthday. Not that I really celebrate my birthday, but anyway. All right, let's play this news piece. Let me know that you can hear it. The volume isn't great when you get news pieces that are shared in news articles. The volume isn't great. I can turn. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. I mean, in some of you guys, maybe if you're in California, maybe like the Pacific Coast, maybe it's still the 28th. Maybe. And I was born almost in the 29th. I was born 11:50. So 10 minutes later, and it would have been today. My birthday would have been today. And I was very late. I was apparently due on the 17th of September. And my mother always tells me the story about having to be induced. And she didn't like it very much. But yeah, I was quite happy where I was, allegedly. All right, let's listen to this. Let me know that you can hear it. Still 28th in California. There we go. Alicat went from an Android to an iPhone. Could someone please tell me how to change a photo? Yeah, you need to go into your Google account. So you need to log into your Google account, not your YouTube account, your Google account, and then add a new avatar. And that's the same regardless of what device you're on, I think. But yeah, that's how you change photo. All right. Okay. Let me know you can hear this.
He's found during a search for a missing Saguache County woman in an unrelated case. That woman's family tells 13 Investigates they want closure too. Investigative reporter Quinn Ritzdorf is live in studio with those details on her disappearance. Quinn.
Edna Quintana has been missing from Saguache since early May, but searches for the missing 55-year-old have led to the discovery of 2 bodies, including Suzanne Morphew. Suzanne Morphew's body was found south of Moffett along Highway 17, but her body might not have been found if investigators weren't searching for Edna Quintana, a woman from Saguache who had been missing since May.
She was not involved with a very good group at this time and had not been for several years.
In the 5 months since Edna went missing, the family says investigators have conducted multiple searches, leading to the discovery of 2 other bodies.
I believe it's a coincidence. I'm glad that in these searches for Edna, 2 other families were able to get some closure. And now we would like the same closure as well.
One was found last week along Highway 17 near Moffett. Yesterday, law enforcement confirmed it was Suzanne Morphew, the Salida woman that has been missing since Mother's Day 2020. 2 months before Suzanne was found, investigators found a different body west of Saguache Peak off of a county road. They identified the body as James Montoya, a man from Lakewood, missing since April.
That county, Saguache County, is getting a reputation for that being called like the boneyard, just because they've found over the years so many, persons there, bodies or bones, whatever.
Edna's family is hopeful for closure one day too.
When they talk about Suzanne Morphew or James Montoya, that they say these people were found in the search for Edna Quintana. I want her name and I want her picture out there. Her case is not any less deserving of attention than Suzanne Morphew's.
Colorado Bureau of Investigations declined to comment on both cases, Edna and James Montoya, citing ongoing investigations. Reporting live in the studio, Kornritsdorf, 13 Investigates.
Okay, I know the volume was a little bit low. I had my volume up as high as I could, but it was quite low for me as well. I don't know what it does to the audio, because this is within a news piece. So when they embed it within a news piece, it must change the audio a little bit, because it's up as high as it will go. And anyway, okay. So if you did have problems hearing that, most of what is in that little news piece is in the text. So I'm going to read it to you. But that's why I chose to do this live stream, just to get Edna's name and face out there, and just to remind people that just because people like Edna don't get the publicity that Suzanne Morphew has had, they're still there, and there's so many people like that who, for whatever reason, their case just doesn't, I've talked about this loads, doesn't get the public's attention. So there's not much news about them. But yet searchers are obviously still working hard to find them behind the scenes. It's just that people don't know about it. So, Gina, that's what this live stream is about. So Suzanne Morphew was found in the search for 55-year-old Edna Quintana. This is Edna right here on the right of your screen. And she's been missing since the beginning of May from Saguache County. And it was in the search for Edna that Suzanne Morphew was found. But earlier, a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, there was another body found in a different location, but during the same search. So there's actually 2 people been found in the search for Edna. So Edna's family need the answers and need that closure. And obviously, because of the ongoing investigation into Edna's disappearance, there's not a great deal of details out there about her, rightly so, because if the details into her disappearance are still under investigation, then, we don't know if a crime has been committed or whether she's, I don't know, gone off on her own and got into trouble. got into trouble. Why are they searching that? They're searching for the woman who is on the right of your screen, Edna Quintana. She went missing from the location, Saguache County, just south of Moffat, which is a little town in the Colorado desert. She's been missing since May. So let's read this news piece here that accompanies this little news clip. Saguache County, Colorado. I hope I'm saying Saguache right, because it doesn't look like Saguache to me, but that's apparently how you pronounce it. So the search for Edna Quintana, a missing woman from Saguache, led to the discovery of 2 different bodies, including Suzanne Morphew's. But Edna's family is still waiting for answers. On September 22nd, a body was found alongside of Highway 17, south of Moffat in Saguache County. On Wednesday, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation confirmed the body was Suzanne Morphew, a woman from Salida who had been missing for more than 3 years. But the CBI told 13 investigators it wasn't searching for Suzanne when they found her body. Instead, they were searching for 55-year-old Edna Quintana. Edna's very shy, very humble, very quiet, very soft-spoken, said Augustina Edwards, Quintana's cousin. So that was the woman who spoke to camera there, Edna's cousin. You probably will not find anyone in Saguache that has a bad thing to say about Edna. Quintana's family, 5th-generation natives to Saguache, Colorado, said she was not involved with the very good group. Don't really know what that means, but obviously that must be part of the investigation. When she went missing in early May. So I think she was last seen on May the 3rd. May the 3rd. I think I saw in another news piece, but early May anyway, she was last seen. They say for the last 5 months, investigators have been searching Saguache County for her, but they still haven't found her. Instead, they found 2 other bodies. And locals are now calling this area the Boneyard. And you sometimes find this in certain really remote locations, but yet are still close to a road network, but they just don't get very much traffic because, you know, the little towns that are out there are, you know, separated widely apart, so you don't get much through traffic. And they do end up sometimes, sadly, dumping grounds for murder, as in Suzanne's case, but also people who are not feeling well, who are feeling depressed, sometimes choose that kind of remote location to take their own life. Others go out there and go walking and get into trouble and die, have a medical emergency or have an accident. And this is the Colorado mountains, so there's plenty of, I guess, hazards in the environment that would perhaps injure someone. And if they're not found, then sadly they die. Yes, a man, go find me. We're going to talk about him right now. I believe it's a coincidence, Edwards said, so that 2 other bodies were found. I'm glad that in the search for Edna, 2 other families are able to get some closure. Now we would like the same closure as well. Suzanne Morphew was the most recent body found in Saguache County, but she isn't the first. During another search for Quintana in July, investigators found a body in the foothills west of Saguache Peak. So it's a different location, completely different location to that where Suzanne was found. So the people who are out there searching for Edna with no publicity or anything are doing great work behind the scenes. And they deserve to be honoured as well. Those searchers who, you know, they don't want fame, they don't want fortune. They're not trying to promote a YouTube channel or a TikTok. They're just searchers who are out there helping law enforcement. So they've been doing these searches in, you know, I guess certain spots where they think Edna might have gone, but they don't know. So in this search in July, they were looking west of Saguache Peak off County Road 46 AA. The body was later identified as 26-year-old James Montoya, a man missing from Lakewood since April. Lakewood's quite a few miles away. I think Lakewood's near Broomfield, near Denver, if I remember rightly. Up near Chris Watt's country. Okay. Somebody was looking for their family member, and that's how our son was located, said Karina Montoya, James Montoya's mother. Our heart goes out to them. We are praying for them. We just hope they have some closure that we found. Montoya's family said he was always himself and had an infectious laugh. His family said Montoya was last seen at a bar in Lakewood before his body was found 4 hours away in Saguache County. So, yeah, I'm right. It is. Lakewood is near Denver. Probably looking, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours away. 4 hours away. Saguache County is getting a reputation for being called the Boneyard, just because they found over the years so many bodies or bones, Karina said. Montoya's case is still being investigated and the family continues to wait for answers. But they said Saguache County is the place to dump bodies because it's so secluded and off the grid. Turquoise, I assume you're talking about Suzanne. I think her phone pinged a little south at 4 a.m. Yes, it did. Just gone 4 a.m. Why? Because phones occasionally check in with cell towers. So even if you're not using them, your phone a few times a day checks in with the nearest cell tower and you get a ping off it. Or, obviously, if it's being used, then it will ping more frequently. So I would imagine at just gone 4 a.m., Barry was setting off with Suzanne's body and he turned her phone off. So that ping, whatever he did to her phone, or maybe it was just coincidentally, the phone pinged and then he turned her phone off. But her phone has never been found. So the phone's probably buried in the desert somewhere as well. Yeah. Every so often, the phone pings even if it's not being used because it checks in. Okay. You can spend a significant amount of time in an area and not be seen by anyone, not be noticed, and have time to do just that. Barry Morphew's attorney, Iris Ayton, also pointed to the high number of bodies being found in Saguache County. She said investigators shouldn't be pointing fingers at Barry Morphew. Well, I am. Because you're guilty, Barry, allegedly, in my humble opinion, sue me. I'd quite like you to sue me. Because if you sue me, then a lot of evidence is going to come out. There's a civil suit. A lot of evidence will come out. You know, Barry's made a duff move, really. A very duff move in wanting to sue. He wants to sue the CBI, the FBI, Chaffee County. He's suing them all. It's like millions of dollars. I think it's like $15 million he's suing these organizations for wrongful imprisonment. Well, when that civil suit goes to court, if it ever does, in civil cases, you've got to provide evidence and the other side provides the evidence. So all the evidence that they've got against you, Barry, is going to come out. Yeah, dumb, greedy. Hey. Anyway, whatever happened to Kristal Reisinger? Oh, I don't know who's Kristal Reisinger. Don't know who that is. Edna Quintana, Suzanne, the man whose remains were found in Saguache County, so that's James, in the foothills on July 26th, or the remains of the person found in another area in Saguache County last weekend. More info to come from authorities tomorrow. So there's more. There's more bodies out there. This is Barry's defense attorney, though. So, what were the circumstances of their disappearances? So they're going to be claiming that Suzanne was a victim of a serial killer. I can see it coming. I've already seen those comments starting to form, that all of these bodies that are out there are all the result of one serial killer. Now, obviously, that does happen. You know, we've got the Long Island serial killer that is, Rex Heuermann is accused of that. Yes, you do get cases where there's a certain area that the killer goes to time and time again because it's so remote. They haven't been caught the first time or the second time. So they think, oh, this is safe to go there in the dead of night and to, dispose of someone that they've murdered. So obviously it happens, but it's very rare. What is the male DNA? What are you talking about, Courtney? Kristal has been missing from Crestone since 2016. I'm going to look her up in a minute. Hold on, let me just copy her name and then I can look her up. Okay. The CBI declined to comment on both Quintana's and Montoya's cases because it's still ongoing. 13 investigators reached out to the Saguache County Sheriff's Office, but we never heard back. Quintana's family told 13 investigators they hope the discovery of 2 bodies will bring exposure and answers in Edna's case. When they talk about Suzanne Morphew or James Montoya, that they say these people were found in the search for Edna. I want her name and I want her picture out there. Her case is no less deserving than Suzanne Morphew's. So I've kept her face on there while I've been reading this news article because that's what her family wants. They want her name and her face out there. But I'll put a link to this in the chat. I'll link this in the description box as well after the live so that you can go and read the text if you prefer to read the text. You know, when somebody reads it, sometimes it's annoying. But yeah, that's the link to that one. So that's News Channel 13. Let's have a look if there's any more. KKTV, remains of missing Colorado man found in Saguache County is a homicide investigation. So this will be John. Okay, this is KKTV News Channel 11. Remains of missing Colorado man found in Saguache County is a homicide investigation. But it's not the same homicide investigation as that of Suzanne. Completely different circumstances, went missing from completely different places under completely different circumstances. But let's read this. This is interesting. Saguache County, Colorado. A homicide investigation is underway after the skeletal remains of a man were found in a remote part of Colorado. Denver police shared information tied to James Montoya being missing in April of 2023. Montoya had been last seen on April the 2nd in the Denver area. See, I was right. Never been to Colorado in my life, but do you know, we do so many cases, don't we, in Colorado? We've got Chris Watts. I knew Lakewood because of Chris Watts, but Letitia Stoke, that witch. There's this one, you know, I know Colorado. It's the same with Tennessee. I know Tennessee as well. And also Idaho. I know Idaho. I feel like I've been there. And I haven't. I've never been there. All right. Denver police shared information tied to James Montoya being missing since April. Last seen on April 2nd. On July 28th, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI, asked the public for help identifying the skeletal remains that were located in Saguache County. Authorities came across the remains while searching for a missing woman named Edna Quintana. The skeletal remains were identified as belonging to Montoya. Quintana is still missing. So I feel so sorry for Edna's family because she's like the afterthought. She's the person that searchers are out looking for. And yet there's other people being found, and then the focus is on them. And rightly it should be, because obviously if this is a homicide investigation, James needs justice, and the person or persons responsible for James's homicide need to be brought to justice, and James's family need answers. So quite rightly, when a body is found, then the focus of the criminal side of the investigation becomes on them. But for the public, for publicity, Edna's still the afterthought. So I do hope that Edna is found so that she can have the limelight for however much time and it's not very much time that the media spends on people who are found if the case hasn't garnered controversy. It's a controversy amongst the case, or there's some salacious detail, or there's a mystery. You know, it's the mystery of it all that grips the public and that makes some cases really big, like Kylie Rodney, Nicola Bulley here in my county from January. That got really big. Very unlike any other case I've seen in this county, Nicola Bulley. But yeah, some cases don't. Most cases don't. Most cases don't. Gina, I don't know. I wonder if it's dogs, ground radar, or tips leading to them to these locations. I don't know. That would be pertinent to the search for Edna, because they weren't searching for James, they weren't searching for Suzanne. They found them incidentally, while searching for Edna. So I don't know why there's particular locations in focus for Edna. Maybe it's locations where people know she used to go. If she was a very shy, humble person who liked maybe to be on her own quite a lot, then maybe there were places where she would go to that she liked. So maybe from maybe knowledge from family and friends, that's where the searchers get the clues from. Yeah, the chipmunk excuse, Mike. Yeah, the chipmunk alibi. Yeah. Okay. So on Thursday, so this is back in July. On Thursday, Denver police confirmed with KKTV 11 News the Montana case is being investigated as a homicide. The circumstances as to how he got there are under investigation. A spokesperson for the Denver police wrote to 11 News. Anyone with information tied to the death of James Montoya is asked to call Denver Area Crime Stoppers on 720-913-STOP. Remains belonging to at least 2 missing people have been found in Saguache County in recent months, have gained media attention. So this is 2 others. 2 others. Or maybe this is... oh, yeah, this has been updated. This has been updated. So the 2 others maybe are Kristal and Suzanne. This week, the CBI announced the remains belonging to missing Colorado mother Suzanne Morphew were found in Saguache County, while the CBI is working on an unrelated case. CBI did not elaborate on what that unrelated case was. Montoya's remains were found in July. Quintana is still missing. It's unclear if any of the cases have any relation outside of the public information that Montoya's remains were discovered while a search for Quintana was taking place. Well, I'm gonna. That's James. So hopefully answers for James will come and whoever's responsible will be brought to justice. So Denver police are investigating that. But Edna is still missing. So I'll bet my house that this is not a serial killer. I'll bet my house that these are 3... and I'll look up Kristal as a 4th in a moment, unrelated cases. Why do I think they're unrelated? Because they come from completely different areas. Because this is a big area. We're talking a big area. Lakewood is 4 hours away from Saguache County. And Suzanne wasn't in the Lakewood area when she was murdered. We know that for a fact. Lakewood is 4 hours away near Denver. And then we don't know the precise details about Edna, but these are different locations, different circumstances in which someone goes missing, and different life, completely different victim profiles. You know, so I'm not like with the Long Island serial killer, it was sex workers. Like whoever was preying on them, whether it turns out to be Rex Heuermann, I think it is, but it remains to be seen as to you know, whether the jury will believe that. We're only at the beginning of that case. I need to check in on that case. I've not checked in on that case for ages. I need to check in on that and do maybe an update video if there's anything out there that I've missed. I may have missed some stuff. But yeah, those victims that were found along that stretch of Beach Road can be tied together because they're all sex workers. So they all have something in common. They all have a lifestyle in common. They all come from the same geographical area. So, but these people don't. James, Edna, Suzanne don't. Different locations, different victim profiles, different circumstances. So I'll bet my house this is not a serial killer, and that Suzanne wasn't killed by a serial killer. She was killed by Barry Morphew. That's going to be my prediction. I've got the crystal ball out. That is going to be my prediction. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, I was going to look up Kristal because her name came up. Oh, hold on. I need to go back to that one. Kristal Reisinger. Oops. I copied this earlier, but it didn't seem to copy. All right. All right, okay. Disappearance of Kristal Reisinger. Oh, she's even got a Wikipedia page. See, there's so many people out there that are missing. So many. Kristal Ann Reisinger, resident of Crestone, Colorado. Where's Crestone? Where's that at? Oh, that's in Saguache County. Okay. So she's been missing from Saguache County since July 13th, 2016. Mother of one, Reisinger relocated to Crestone from Denver in order to achieve enlightenment and sobriety. Okay, so clearly she was an addict, at least in the past. While in Crestone, she temporarily worked at the Crestone Brewing Company. Her last known confirmed sighting was July 13th at her residence in downtown Crestone. But some have stated seeing her at a later date. 2018, Saguache County Sheriff's Office and the CBI now believe foul play was the cause of her disappearance. So from Arizona, relocated to Denver after a difficult childhood. Then she left at the age of 15. This time I saw a very troubled background. Moved in with Rodney and Debbie Irvin. Thereafter, she spent a few years with the Irvins. She attended college where she met her best friend Michael. During the summer, she would live with Michael's family. So a little bit of a nomad, maybe. In 2014, she moved from Denver to Gunnison, Colorado, teaching a course and taking coursework in psychology and sociology. Later that spring, she moved to Crestone. Reisinger was a very spiritual person with interests in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Native American religion. She also practiced tarotology, so tarot cards, I guess, and claimed to be a clairvoyant and a medium. She had one daughter with her former boyfriend, Elijah Guana. So prolonged absence by her landlord. Once inside the apartment, they found her cell phone and medication. Numerous Crestone residents claimed to have seen her at the Full Moon Drum Circle gathering on the night of July the 18th. $20,000 reward issued for information. Huh. We got a picture of her. I don't want to really put a baby's picture up on there. Oh, we got a missing poster here. Okay. So this is Kristal. Okay, they're seeking out clues in a maze of caves near the tiny mountain town where she was last seen alive. So she was 29 in 2016. Huh. So she must be still out there as well. Never heard of Kristal. Yeah, maybe these searches will find Kristal as well. But it's desolate out there. It really is. I mean, I've got a map up in the background here. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with. Like, it's desert with just little tiny towns, Moffat being one of them. I mean, this is Moffat right here. Tiny town. And then you could travel miles down this. This is Highway 17. And then there's all these like little roads that are just tracks that just go off into the desert. So it's like a needle in a haystack. It reminds me a lot of the search for Dylan Rounds, where you've just got miles and miles of desert with little tiny towns, you know, inhabited by maybe 100 people or 200 people, and just not a lot of through traffic. So these are good dumping grounds. And people know that. And perhaps Barry knew that. Perhaps that's why Barry chose to dump Suzanne there, because he knew there was miles and miles and miles of nothingness. Is the area known to be a body dumping ground? Yes, thinking Barry dumped Suzanne there to throw police off. Possibly, yes. Well, yeah, you're right, Marie, because nobody was looking for Suzanne in this location. She was found completely by accident in the search for Edna. It is a miracle that they found her, and it's only because of the search for Edna that she was ever found. So, for those who are here because Suzanne Morphew is mentioned, then I will talk about Suzanne a little bit. We've got the PCA from the first time they arrested Barry. That is 120 something pages. I've not got it on this computer, but I can find it again very easily. Maybe I need to call it its real name. Oral cause affidavit. So this was filed May 4th, 2021. But we didn't see it. We didn't see it for months. Didn't come out immediately. But 131 pages. Probable cause affidavit. The reason why it's so big is because they put all the interviews in and stuff. They have just like this really long background section. Oh, there we go. Show that for you. Really long background section. And not that much, actually, that is, you know, really focused in on the specifics. I mean, there's a lot on, I'll put a link to this in the chat. I'll put a link to all of these things in the description box after, but just for those who do want to read through the PCA from last time, obviously no one's been arrested yet. And the Colorado Bureau of Investigation have said that the investigation's ongoing. They're not going to make any arrests yet. Well, they've said they've not made any arrests. That was the words. And they're not doing a press conference yet. Thank you, Cindy. You're here for Edna getting her story out. Yeah. But yeah, that's Barry's affidavit. And within that, there's information about Barry's truck, it's F350, his phone, Suzanne's phone. There's some sections on that. And then some extra stuff came out during the pre-trial hearings, which I need to go through. Yeah, hashtag find Edna. Yeah. I need to go through those again to reacquaint myself with it all. But yes, this is where Barry and Suzanne lived, Puma Path. I never remember the house number. I think it's this one. Don't think you can go down to ground level here. Anyway, that's Puma Path in Salida. And then where she was found is 52 miles away. And the likely spot is just south of Moffat. Here. Now, I didn't find this. Credit here, total credit here goes to Gray Hughes. Before I came live, I was watching Gray Hughes talk about this. And this has not been, let's be clear, this has not been officially stated as where Suzanne was found and where they were searching for Edna. But what Gray has managed to do is match locations where reporters have been talking in that general area with the background on the map. So I think he's right. I think it's somewhere in this specific location. And he even put the coordinates, the GPS coordinates, like the longitude and latitude, in his description box. So I've got this from that. So full credit for finding this location goes to Gray Hughes. But I think he's right, honestly. Let's see, mate. Why will it not let me look at the mountains? And what he did was he matched the two mountains. So you've got Gideon Peak. There's like these two peaks in the background, and he matched them up. So that's Crestone Needle. So there's all these little tiny towns. So that's Crestone. That's where Kristal was last seen. Little tiny town. And then this area is where they've been searching for Edna. And given the crime scene tape and stuff, that, you know, these little snippets of information that have come out on news pieces, she wasn't very far off the road at all. So it was literally just going to a spot, probably dragging her maybe a few yards, digging a shallow grave in the sand, and then just dumping her. And that wouldn't take very long at all, because it was only a shallow grave, because sadly her body had been scattered. So she wasn't buried very deep at all, and animals dug her up. That's what I'm assuming. There's coyotes and stuff out there, isn't there? But yeah, so that would be 52 minutes away. And Suzanne's phone last pinged. I don't have the GPS coordinates for it, but it was close to her home. And what the cops do know is that Barry did go this way, because he was... Do you remember this story? If you followed it, the first case round, he was going north to Broomfield, which is near Denver. It's another location that I remember from the Chris Watts case. He was going to Broomfield. Why is it taking me that way? Okay. So 4 hours, 18 minutes. What has it done here? Puma Path. Moffat School District 2. I don't want Moffat School District 2. Why have you given me that? Bizarre thing. Hold on. I'll have to get the coordinates again from Gray's video. Please hold. Don't want to go there. So very kindly. So this is the video that I'm talking about. So it's called Suzanne Morphew's crime scene location. So I'm going to pop this in the chat. Full credit goes to Gray for finding this. And then the GPS coordinates here. Right here. So this is the location he's found again. Not formally, not from the cops, but I think he's about in the right location. So those are the GPS coordinates that I'm going to put into the map now. Okay. Find. No known route disruptions, traffic incidents. Well, I want to go there. All right, we'll take that out. Oh, it actually does call it Moffat School District 2. Okay. Michelle, will he get away with it? Who, Barry? No. That's my prediction. I think eventually justice will be served. Springfield, Colorado. All right, that's better. That's more like it. So, what happened in the last round of investigations into Barry was that he came out of his house here in Puma Path, Salida, and instead of turning this way to go north up to Broomfield, where he was working, right here near Denver, cops knew that he turned this way. Well, now we know why. What excuse did he give? What excuse did he give? Do you remember anybody? Oh, I saw some elk and I wanted to chase the elk. So we've got the elk alibi. So we have the chipmunk alibi as to why his phone was doing all this weird stuff at his house. He said, oh, I'm shooting chipmunks. Well, there's no evidence of dead chipmunks or a chipmunk grave or nothing. No chipmunks. But no, he said, oh yeah, I went the other way. I went the other way because I saw some elk. And, you know, he likes to tranquilize animals and take their antlers off them. That was the excuse he gave for the cap off a tranquilizer dart being found in his washing machine. He said, oh, I like to tranquilize deer to take their antlers. So he doesn't kill them. It tranquilizes them. While they're knocked out, he steals their antlers because he likes antlers and he can sell them. What an absolute psychopath. You know, this poor animal wakes up and he's had his antlers sawn off. What the fuck? Seriously? You little psychopath. So, yeah, that was his excuse that he went this way. And Suzanne's phone was found in this area. I don't have the precise GPS coordinates for that. They're probably out there, though. But, yeah, so instead of going north to Broomfield, let me just zoom it out a little bit. Right there. Broomfield's up here. There's Lakewood. Near Denver. That's where James disappeared from. James Montoya, we talked about earlier. So there's Broomfield. Around this area, you've got North Glen, where Nicole Kessinger lived. Oh, dear. Yeah. And then just a little bit further north, you've got Frederick, where Chris Watts lived. So it's all this area. Just remember the names. But yeah, instead of going north, he went south. Chasing elk. Chipmunks and elk. Oh, thank you, Marie, for the £10. Get the dogs some treats from Home Bargains. Can't go to Wilco's. Home Bargains. Yeah, we've got what's it called? Yeah, it's Home Bargains around here, yeah. And the pound shop. We've got the pound shop as well. Guess it's like the equivalent of the dollar store in the US. All right, so yeah, he went there. And now we know why. Allegedly, in my humble opinion. Sue me, Barry. I'd love it. So it's all coming together. It's all coming together. And he set out from his house. Wilco's is gone. Seriously? Oh my God, why? Oh yeah, B&M Bargains. Yeah, it's B&M Bargains. Yeah, we've got a Home Bargains. I'm in town. I never go to town. I send my son. But we got a Home Bargains and we've got a B&M in the nearest town. And then the other way, going south, the nearest town there, which is a bit bigger, that had a I used to love going to Wigan, to Wilco's. No way, gone bust. Oh, I loved Wilco's. Wilco's was the best. Oh, I feel as bad as I did when Woolworths went bust. All of those who remember Woolworths. Woolies. Wigan, yeah. Wigan. Wigan Wilco's has gone. No way. Do you know the last time I went to Wigan? It was, I think, probably just after we came out of lockdown. So that would be 2021. I think that's the last time I went to Wigan. I don't go into towns very often at all. I like to just stay in the rural backwaters of these places. But yeah, so it's interesting. And the last thing I'll say about Suzanne, it's interesting that Barry set off from his house to go to Broomfield at something past 4, just past 4 o'clock, and got into Broomfield, like caught on surveillance and stuff, dumping things in bins around 8 a.m. So, hey presto, about 4 and some hours later. So, the perfect time to go from Salida to dump the body in Moffat and then up north to Broomfield. It's all coming together. But it has to be an absolute watertight case. watertight. This time, they need to nail him. They really need to nail him. So I'm going to sign off in a minute, but I just want to remind everybody as to why we are here. And it's for Edna. Edna. This is Edna. Cassie, what are you doing? What's up? Yeah, I'm going in a minute. Cassie's starting to get itchy. She wants to walk. So, family members of Edna are still searching for answers after she was last seen on May the 3rd in the area of Saguache County. A statewide alert for Edna was issued on May 17th, yet she has not been located. Skeletal remains were discovered on July 26th, and those were James Montoya, who we talked about earlier. Edna reportedly has medical issues, and anyone with information on her location is asked to call the CBI tip line at 719-5815. So that's the CBI tip line. I'll put that in the chat just in case anybody randomly sees this. You never know. So this is the CBI tip line there. The Edna Quintana investigation is still active and ongoing, so we cannot comment. Public Information Officer Lisa Kohlbrenner with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation wrote to 11 News when we asked if there was any connection to the search for Edna that led to Suzanne's remains. So I don't think there was. I think it was just a coincidence that they're looking for Edna in those locations, and Barry did not expect them to be looking there. Did not expect that Suzanne would ever be found. What's the theories about Edna? We don't know. We don't know. She was a very quiet, humble, shy person. Unfortunately, she got in with some wrong people. So I don't know what that means. That comes from quotes from her cousin. So I don't know. I don't know whether she liked to go to remote locations, maybe to go walking or something, and she's got into medical issues and she's had a medical emergency and sadly she's died, or whether the wrong people means that she was taking drugs. I don't know. We don't know. And the CBI aren't commenting. So, really, it's about raising awareness for Edna. Put Edna's photo back up here. So we're all talking about Suzanne, but actually Edna is just as important. And the search for Edna has been fruitful in that it's located Suzanne homicide investigation and James Montoya, also a homicide investigation, but very different homicide investigation. Thank you, Krista, for the 1999. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. But Edna, we don't know the circumstances. We don't know if that's going to turn out to be a homicide investigation or whether it's going to be a medical emergency, an accident, or sadly a suicide. We don't know. But apparently she was a really nice person. No one had any bad words to say about her. Very quiet, very humble, very shy, kept herself to herself. So she's out there and she needs to be brought home, and her family want her home. So I'm going to call it a day here. I'm going to read that PCA again, Barry's PCA. Don't know how much of that is going to be used if Barry's arrested again, and my prediction is he will be. How much of that they'll use? I mean, all like the GPS coordinates and stuff like that is all obviously still relevant. They don't change. So things are coming together. Let's just say that things are coming together. Now she's been found, we can work backwards now. We know where she was taken, so we can work backwards now. So it's obviously a lot easier. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Edna will get lots more coverage. I hope so. I hope so. Because this is the thing. Edna is mentioned as an afterthought. Oh, in the search for Edna Quintana, we found Suzanne. In the search for Edna Quintana, we found James. Both of those homicide investigations, different homicide investigations, not a serial killer, in my humble opinion. But Edna is still out there. So let's talk about Edna. Let's raise awareness for Edna. Although there's not many details out there about her. Hopefully more will come out in due course, and hopefully she will be found. And her family will get some answers. All right, guys, I am going to go. Thank you so much for the donations. Thanks to the mods. I don't know whether I had any mods in, but it doesn't matter. You were all nice and friendly anyway. What's going on in Callaway? What's going on in Cola Radio? I don't know what you mean, Jane. No idea what you mean. Anyway, I'm going to go. And there'll be a video on Michelle After Dark later today. I don't even know what case I'm going to do. I haven't decided. But that will be later today over on Michelle After Dark. So bye for now. And I'll see you in the comments. Bye, guys.